President Ricky said, she said that there were some hard days this year. Can I tell you about it? But one thing that I know is that even in the darkest times, it's making you something. I remember, I'm telling you, y'all, I'm being real, when I was living in that trailer park, I remember being sad, wondering why am I going through some of this stuff. When I was growing up in Baltimore, I questioned, I asked God, why? Why? I remember the first week I got to Harvard Law School. I had a classmate that said, it's like you're a natural born leader. You know what I said to him? I said, it ain't natural born. If you went through what I went through, there is a strengthening in what you're going through. I want to tell you that even though at the time it might seem like it's rough, that there is something that's happening that is shaping you. I couldn't be here today if I didn't go through what I went through before. I couldn't have overcome the tough times of being in law school and studying and all that it took if I hadn't gone through what I went through at Morehouse. I wouldn't have been able to go through what I went through at Morehouse if I hadn't have gone through what I went through in that trailer park. If I hadn't gone through what I went through in the trailer park, I wouldn't have been able to do what I did from Baltimore. The point is, the challenge in your life, it's not here to break you. The challenge is here to make you. I think of somebody who went into business and failed. He actually went into business several times and failed. And this young man, after he went into business, failed, he got married. Just a true story. Married the love of his life. A year later, she died. He went into the worst depression, went back into business, opened a store this time. True story. Store failed. Then he decided to go into politics. Ran for office. Guess what, y'all? He lost. 45 years old, he ran for senator. Lost. 47 years old, ran for vice president of the United States. Guess what? He lost. 49, y'all, he didn't quit. He ran for senator again. He lost again. At 51 years old, he was elected the president of the United States of America. Now, y'all know him by the name of Abe Lincoln. But all that he went through, the challenge, is what made him. Muhammad Ali, one of the youngest heavyweight champions ever, they took the title from him, y'all. It took him 7 years to fight back, beat Sonny Liston, and got it back. Tyler Perry, in a car, homeless, no money, and look what happened to him. Oprah Winfrey, kicked out of her home. As a teenager, she had already had a miscarriage. But Oprah Winfrey didn't stop, y'all. The challenge in her life, she understood that's what made her. I'm here to tell you that the challenge, it might not seem fun at the time. It might not be what you want to go through at the time. But I promise you, the thing that you're going through, it is making you into something. Last point. Somebody say power. Power. You have to know who you are. That's what the class was that we talked about earlier, knowing who you are. Look around this room. No, physically. Turn around and look around this room. Look at this. We are the descendants of people who changed the world, y'all. People who never stop. That's what you come from. The brother from Benedict said the schools, HBCUs are closing down. We don't know why. I'm going to tell you why the HBCUs are closing down. Because of the threat that they pose in this world. It is nothing like an educated person of color. I'm sorry, I just had to say it. I couldn't hold it in. Because when you understand the power of who you are and the thing that's working on the inside of you, it changes your whole conversation with everything. They don't want you to know who you are. Don't you get that? They don't want you to understand what your lineage really is. As long as they can rewrite history. I don't have enough time, y'all. As long as they can tell you what they want you to know about you, you're never going to know truly who you are. Black culture is admired all over this world. And as youth, do not forget that. There's an effort that once you get more and more in school and high school, and then you get into college, and more, you start to get stewed and all this other stuff. Don't forget your center. Don't forget who you really are. I'm telling you, don't forget who you really are. The best way that I can put it is really like this. I think of it this way. I think of a $20 bill. And who would take a 20? Anybody would take a 20, right? Why not? It's a 20. But think about it. If I took this 20, this same 20, right? It isn't a trick 20. I'm telling you, a real 20. If I take this 20 and ball this 20 up, I'm going to step on this thing. Who wants the crinkled up, balled up 20? Who still wants the 20? Somebody tell me why, though. Why? I heard somebody say it, because it still has value. Listen to me, y'all. Listen to me, y'all. This is much more important than a $20 bill. You might have gone through the ringer in this life. It might have been some stuff that happened to you that shouldn't have. You might have been balled up, tossed aside, talked about, laughed at. But can I tell you, you have not lost your value. I'm going to make sure that these books are available afterwards. Daring to Be Different and The Power to Think, The Will to Act. I actually have several with me, and I have a couple that I want to make available. I want to make sure I give to a couple of the people that shared their gifts. So make sure you come up to me afterwards so I can get those to you. I just want to say before I sit down, do not underestimate the power of what you have to change this world. It might just start with you. It might just start with a conversation. It might just start with a tweet or a Facebook post. But I can tell you something. It starts spreading, and you get other people on board, and you begin to get in relationships with other people who are changing the world. And I promise you, this world, the best days are yet to come. The best days are yet to come. The best days are yet to come. I'm going to sit down, but I want to share this quick story about the power, really, I hope this epitomizes the power of faith and the power of moving forward, even in adversity. This is a true story about a man who started a business after he had been in the military for a little while. And he started a business with his two brothers. And about 2 years into it, he went to a business meeting. True story. The brothers went by plane. He went by train. Plane crashed. And both his brothers died. Within a year of his brothers dying, business caught fire. Burned the entire establishment to the ground. And here this man was in his mid-20s. Business gone. Brothers dead. He lost hope. And to make things worse, true story, he got to the hospital one day because he was having some complications, and they said, we need to do some tests because we think you have cancer. He wasn't even 30 years old, y'all. This is a true story. The man had cancer. They went in, took part of his pancreas, went back in, had to take another part, had to actually go in and take part of his liver. Here this man was, laid up on a hospital bed, near to death. And a nurse came in and asked him, this is a true story, the nurse said, how do you make it from day to day? What is it that you think about that you can keep going? And you know what he said? He said, I think about chicken sandwiches. True story, she thought she heard the man wrong. She said, huh? He said chicken sandwich, little zesty chicken sandwiches. Y'all, that man walked out of there and fully recovered. He's still living today, actually. He's in his 90s. The man's name is Truett Cathy, president, founder, and CEO of Chick-fil-A. Because I want you to know something in life. They can take your money, they can take your belongings, they can take the clothes off your back, but what they can never touch is your faith. And with your faith, you'll get it all back. Thank you all. God bless. Thank you.